92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you in. The new drug today is a bit of a holiday, so we hope you're home. Cool but sunny day out, going for a walk, walking the dog, maybe hitting some balls.
That's what I wasn't hitting balls, but I
go for a walk.
Yeah, G and I walked the dogs. It was a beautiful day.
Nice day today.
Yeah, I had to have a jacket on, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It was at least sunny.
Yeah, well, there's not enough lawn to mow it yet. Okay.
No.
I mean, you can mow it once every. How often the lawns get mowed now? Once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
That's what I would think.
Yeah, our guys come like once every 2 weeks this time of year.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So you didn't want to. So yeah, it was a day to enjoy. It was a beautiful day today, just kind of chilly.
Yeah, just cold.
This is our last cold stretch, I think. I think it's this week. You and I will be in Indianapolis next week at the Combine. But I think it's our last sort of cold stretch of.
I think we're catching a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Indianapolis this week, the highs are all like 8.
The low was 0.
Yeah. Next week, the highs are at least like 46.
Yeah, 40 and
so.
I think it's 40 and 30.
It'll
next
still
week.
be cold.
Yeah.
But it won't be like miserable like it would have been if we had gone this week.
Yeah. Tomorrow night we'll be out at. Tomorrow afternoon at Florida JU baseball. Look forward to that. You'll be there in a tank top and cutoffs,
yes,
I would imagine.
Absolutely. If that. I've got a thong that it might be time to debut.
So
it's a February thong.
So it was chilly.
It's provocative.
It was, no doubt. So it was chilly on Friday when UNF was playing host to Notre Dame. We knew it was going to be cold out there where we were, so I had a bunch of jackets on because I'm kind of a wimp. And I looked at Tom Champion, the world's nicest guy, said, "Is there any chance Carlyon brings a jacket?" And Tom goes, "Not really." No. Tom, who doesn't even kid people, said, "Nah, I don't think so." Yeah. There's probably not much of a chance. Sure enough, there's Hays in his golf shirt and shorts. It was 40 degrees.
Yeah.
There's Hays in his golf shirt and shorts.
That one caught me off guard because I was outside earlier that day and it was beautiful out. And so I just assumed, I went back inside and, and then I
never thought to look at the weather.
No, that's
like that would start
that's
now.
That's for suckers.
Like that would start now, right?
Yeah. So that was chilly. Luckily, I did have some 1010 XL gear in the car that I had my faithful rain jacket, which at least gave me some protection.
I had a heavy jacket in the car. I offered it to you.
You were very nice. You always are. You're very nice. You always offer.
Yeah. I either A, have an extra heavy jacket because I know how dumb you are, or B, I have an extra heavy jacket because I know what a wimp I am, or maybe it's a combination. Maybe it's both. So there's that. A lot of things to talk about today on the program. We got a Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week to kick off the week. We're looking forward to that. That comes up in just a few minutes. So we'll say hello to a star from Mandarin High School. I look forward to that. That comes up in a bit. We'll talk a little bit about college basketball. That Florida basketball team continues to really impress me. No, I know South Carolina's not a good team, but we'll certainly get to why coming up in a bit. There's a lot in the news today. The Jonathan Martin story that was on ESPN, did you read it?
No, because I am so disinterested in that. I saw enough of it. I mean,
it was really long.
Some Breer and Schefter tweeted out, some excerpts of it. And I honestly, I thought that at the time, Jonathan Martin was a crybaby, and it doesn't surprise me that years later, he's basically admitted that.
Yeah, but he really didn't, if you read the story. Everyone said he did, but it's a crazy story. And I'll get into it a little bit later on. But it looks like he said none of that really happened. But if you read the story, that's not what he said. It's very deep, and so we'll get. But I hear you.
It never made sense to me that Martin was agreeing to do this story anyway. I mean, the headline was completely self-defeating. The headline of this story is basically Jonathan Martin wants you to forget the one thing you remember him for.
Right.
Well, we've all forgotten about him.
Yeah.
Like it was 12 years ago. I mean, I don't think I haven't heard the name Jonathan Martin come up in conversation in probably 12 years. I mean, yes, this was a hot story then, and then it faded away, and it really didn't have any aftermath to it.
Right.
So it's like, why would you even agree to do this story if the whole purpose of it is you don't want people to remember this, slice of your life?
Yeah. Maybe you could get like a Netflix doc out of it or something.
Yeah, but
you could probably get paid somehow.
And possibly, but it's a really interesting. So we'll talk about that. But it's an interesting take on it. And all the response, Richie Incognito's now been texting or tweeting left and right about it. So we'll certainly get to it coming up later on in the program. Mac McClung's not very good at basketball. Dude can jump.
It's incredible.
It's incredible that he's that good of a, and he's not a very good basketball player. I mean, I think they signed him just to win the dunk contest.
He's been in one game this year and played 5 minutes.
It's amazing.
For the Magic.
So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations to Jeff Gordon, wins again at Daytona, the 24 car.
Right.
I thought it was good for Jeff. Jeff has to be proud of the fact that he won again.
Yes.
And it was the 24 car.
It was the 24 car.
So Jeff, congratulations to Jeff Gordon.
Yes.
Somebody's listening.
Well, he is technically the owner.
He is the president of.
So
I can't congratulate him on the win.
Sure.
Yeah. Someone right now is driving down the road thinking, Frangie is such a dumbass. He just doesn't know. He just doesn't know. So I follow no NASCAR at all. I don't know anything about NASCAR.
William Byron
won for 2 years in a row, I'm told.
Yeah. Repeated.
Yeah. So there's that.
And apparently it was like one of these things where like he was never really. Again, I'm not a NASCAR guy, but he almost had to defend the win. It seemed like from reading the story because he basically had no chance, and then like there were two massive wrecks.
That seems to happen a lot.
It does happen.
Right. I mean, why don't you just hang back and be like in 22nd place,
right?
And then let the carnage happen in front of you, and then. I mean it's anyway.
It's who survives, not who goes.
It's not my. It's not my cup of tea.
Mine either. But once a year. On the Monday after I mention who won it, then I move on. Okay, so there's this. So this, but
a tradition unlike any other.
Yeah, I feel it's a responsibility, and I feel like I've now owned up to that responsibility.
Yeah. The worst loser Mondays were the NASCAR ones because we were all so competitive with it
and had no idea
that you had to watch it.
Right.
And so like we don't know horse racing.
Right.
But that takes 3 minutes and it's over and it's fun to watch.
Right.
A NASCAR race takes out. I mean, it can be your whole day.
Delays.
We're so that one night we were locked in and locked in.
I mean, and so I was glad
it wasn't part of it
hit
this year.
The cutting room floor.
It did do that. So hey, a lot to talk about today. The Jags have their GM search down to 5 finalists. They'll start the interviews on Wednesday. They expect to have them done by the end of the week. And I would imagine a GM will be selected sometime over the weekend or first part of the week. Remember, the combine is next week.
Yeah, he's talking on Tuesday at the podium if they do what they normally do. So
and I don't know if that's totally been decided yet, but I would imagine by the weekend or the first part. I would imagine by the weekend you'll know who the Jaguar general manager is going to be, and maybe may meet him as early as Monday or Tuesday. Because again, logic says if we're on the road at the combine Monday, that if the general manager is named by then, at the very least, we'll meet him at the combine.
It's going to really be one of the most like awkward is probably too strong, but unusual podium settings at the combine because general managers aren't normally hired like 2 days before you talk at the combine. And they could elect just to have Liam. I mean, you don't have to talk at the combine.
Right.
I mean, some of these coaches don't even go to the combine now. So it's not like the Jaguars are required to have their head coach and decision maker and personnel talk. But you like to do it because certainly it helps your fans and helps, people generate a conversation about your team. So they could just have Liam Cohen talk and no GM. Or they'll have a GM that's literally been on the job for 24, 48 hours talk. But it will be interesting to see because I can't ever remember that happening in the years that I've covered the combine.
And we'll be there. And I think we're going to have Liam on one-on-one. I think we'll have. I think Big Bo's going to be there. I think he'll stop by. And I think the general manager, if he's in place, and we don't know, we'll see if that happens this week, might come by the table as well. So hopefully. A real good chance to get to meet the general manager if the media has not met him by now, or even if they have met him by then. So we'll see what winds up. But again, we'll go through the 5. By now, you all know the 5 finalists. We'll go through the 5 finalists, give you kind of our thoughts on all. It's hard to really do that. I can say, well, I want this guy, that guy. But the truth is we don't know. It's not like a coach where you've watched him call plays and But having said that, everyone seems to have a favorite. So we'll certainly go through. I don't know if we'll do that. Go through a favorite. We'll go through the list coming up in just a bit too. So that comes up. We'll talk about that Gator basketball team as promised as well. I got to tell you, I probably wasn't as patriotically locked in as I should have been on the hockey, but that was bizarre. For people that don't know what happened, the Canadian crowd booed the national anthem.
Yeah, big mistake.
Yeah, and then there were 3 fights. Really, before the action started,
right? 9 seconds in.
I mean, three.
Yeah,
there were, and so, I mean, goodness gracious, that was a.
And then we won.
And then the the Canada's no good at hockey.
They're no good at it. Well, I'll refrain.
Yeah, but and the U.S. won 3-1. Hockey. Canada has won now though today, by the way, so they will meet the U.S. in the final, so they'll do it again. But it was kind of crazy. Final thing before we go to break and we bring in our Duval County Scholar Athletes Week. Did you watch the Saturday Night Live 50 celebration?
Fantastic.
Did JJ? You didn't get to see it?
No, I didn't realize it was going on. So was it just like a concert?
It was a concert Saturday night and then a 3-hour show last night. There was more SNL like.
Okay. Yeah, so there was a lot of it was the music of SNL on Saturday night. I watched a little of it. It didn't really get my interest as much. I know it did yours.
We loved it. But yeah, it was way in our wheelhouse. A lot of alternative first wave kind of stuff. Last night,
it went 3 hours and 24 minutes. I watched every minute.
Yeah.
Suzanne watched some of it with me, but I watched most of it. Saturday Night Live's kind of not her thing as much as it is mine. It was 3 hours and 24 minutes. I watched every minute.
Yeah, we did.
Did you too? I mean,
it was awesome.
It was absolutely tremendous. The people that were at that thing.
It's incredible.
I mean, it's a better cast than you'll see at the Oscars, the Grammys. It topped all those casts.
I never knew that Meryl Streep has never been on Saturday Night Live ever.
Yeah.
And she made a cameo appearance last night. In a sketch. And she was fantastic. She was that might have been the best sketch of the night.
That sketch was it was certainly the one that went the furthest.
Yes.
I mean, it was the one that pushed the envelope almost off the table.
Kate McKinnon and Meryl Streep were amazing. Yeah. And Woody Harrelson and gosh, I can't remember Pascal Perez, or I can't remember the other guy that was in it.
Well, yeah, but Sudeikis.
The Mandalorian.
But Sudeikis was in that one, and
no, that was Ham and the Aliens one.
No, but
is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
And then Sudeikis was in the Scared Him Straight.
Yeah, that's
which
the one.
That was great.
That
too.
one pushed the envelope. I thought that's what you're talking about. That one pushed the envelope about as far as you could push it.
Yeah,
and it was.
I mean, to see Eddie Murphy and Will Ferrell in the same SNL sketch,
and Sudeikis. Yeah, I mean,
you're right. Yeah, but I mean, those two are arguably like the greatest that they've ever produced.
Correct. And
I mean, that's like seeing Babe Ruth and Shohei.
Yeah, that's right.
In the same lineup.
But I'm telling you, we'll talk about it a little bit. But it was truly one of the best pieces of television. And I don't think television. Look, old guy, get off my lawn. I suppose I don't think television's what it once was, because there's so many different elements of it.
Right.
The streaming
Spread
services. Yeah. But it was one of the best network television things I've ever seen. I mean, I literally started watching it at 8:00 and I was recording it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching it with 8:00 with the expectation being, all right, I'll watch for a while. Then Suzanne and I'll go watch a movie, or we'll do so,
Yeah.
And I was on the couch. She watched the beginning, the Paul Simon, Sabrina Carpenter. She watched Steve Martin, but then she said, I'm going to go. It's not my thing. I'll come back. And she came back and forth. I said, I'll come back in the bedroom and watch a movie or something in a bit. Hays, I never got off the couch. I mean, it was at least for me.
Yeah.
So entertaining, because again, a lot of this happened when think about it. I was in high school.
Right.
I was in high school when a lot of this was going on when it started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really
It's
amazing.
been an institution my entire life. Like the first cast that I sort of gravitated towards would have been like the Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Dennis Miller years. So like the Eddie Murphy years and certainly the Not Ready for Primetime Players, like that had already happened before I really got into it. But it's been an institution my entire life.
And I can tell you, it's when I was in high school, they used to have something, it might have been Friday night, not Saturday, but a show called The Midnight Special. You ever heard of The Midnight Special?
I have. It was
Wolfman Jack was
and like Andy Kaufman, right, would do like guest appearance. No,
he wouldn't have come around yet.
Oh, okay.
This is called The Midnight Special. I mean, this was early 70s.
Okay.
And it was, but whoever was the hottest music at the time, Elton John or Olivia Newton-John or whoever. I mean, whoever's the hot pop act. I mean, you'd look up and there's the Captain and Tennille, and there was Billy Joel.
It was all music.
All music.
Oh, I'm with you.
It was nothing but
music. It wasn't a variety show.
No, it was nothing but music. It was music, and it was, I think, 11:30 to 1, similar to Saturday Night Live. And I want to say it was on Friday. I could be wrong about that. But anyway, Wolfman Jack was kind of the host. And I think it ended about the time Saturday Night Live started, which was in the mid-'70s. And everybody watched the Midnight Special. I mean, if you loved music, all the music you heard on the radio, that act would show up that night. If Three Dog Night had Joy to the World, it was the number one song on Friday night. I think it was Friday. It might have been Saturday. I think it was whatever night it was. they'd be on the midnight special. I mean, every pop act was on there. So, and that got replaced by Saturday Night Live. But it was fantastic viewing last night. We'll talk more about it coming up. All right, got a lot of things to do. We'll talk Jaguars GM search. We'll talk some Gator basketball. I am going to make a comment about that Jonathan Martin story. I thought it was an interesting story. We'll get to that. We got a lot to get to on the program. But after the break, we'll start with a Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. We're glad you're with us on this Monday. Our Monday is always brought to you by The Best Bet. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Throughout history, significant numbers have made their mark on our minds. That includes sports and radio.
And this one's going to be 10-10.
1010 XL.
This is Hays Carlyon, here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish family, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
I'm Holt Harrell. I was talking to someone the other day and they were shocked that some lawyers get more from a case than their own client. After paying bills and costs, if we are supposed to get more than a client, we won't. That's the Harrell and Harrell promise. When we say that we treat our clients like family, we mean it. If you've been in an accident, call us today. 251-1111. Harrell and Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Can you say Brunswick's Duval? Well, for a limited time only, enjoy a signature Bono's barbecue sandwich paired with your choice of homemade Brunswick stew, savory soup, or smokehouse chili starting at just $11.99. Your choice of a pulled pork, smoked turkey, smoked sausage, char-grilled chicken, or brisket sandwich, plus a bowl of hot and delicious stew or chili. You absolutely can't beat that deal. So head to Bono's, your local Bono's. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Looking for a unique way to boost your team's spirit or raise funds for an organization? How about a thrilling, action-packed game of poker at Best Bet? Experience the thrill of poker while enhancing teamwork and communication skills. Whether you're a novice or a pro, our expert dealers will guide you through every hand. Enjoy delicious food, refreshing drinks, and a lively atmosphere, all at Best Bet. It's the perfect blend of fun and games. Book your team building or charity event today. Visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. ET here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to, and it should be yours too. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
This is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about how God never fails us. In the Bible, Christ says this: I will in no way fail you or leave you without support. This is so important to remember because we can have the attitude, where is God when I need him? Why is this problem happening to me? No, just because your mind is saying one thing doesn't mean that God isn't going to do what he said. God has never failed us in the past. He's not about to start right now.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Grinding out good grades can be just as challenging as winning games. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Youth sports at the YMCA's focus on teamwork, discipline, and building confidence. Our experienced coaches can create a positive and supportive environment where your kids can grow, stay active, and develop a love for sports. Sports like basketball, volleyball, swimming, gymnastics, and even elite skills training. Join the fun and register. Give your kids the chance to be a part of something special. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Pitched by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, what's the matter?
I don't know about this air conditioner, Jason.
You know, my job is actually to...
I mean, 1 minute it's working, and the next minute it's not working. And every time I leave the house, I don't know if I'm coming back to a nice, cool oasis or a steaming cesspool of sweaty garbage fumes and dog farts, and then I'll never get to sleep. And I'll be too late to call someone. And what if I've got a big meeting the next morning and I haven't slept a wink?
Okay, dude. Stay cool. Or at least stay cooler.
But
Bueller Air and Plumbing can figure out why your AC only works sometimes and not all the time. We fix that kind of stuff every day.
You mean you can...
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all your time worrying about an air conditioner that can totally be fixed, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, let's go!
And now, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
All right, it is time for our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon with you, and it's a pleasure to welcome in Danielle Powell from Mandarin High School. Hey, Danielle, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Good to have you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Danielle is a very good player. She's a basketball player and very good at track and field. Tell us a little bit about that. Track and field seems to be your main thing. What events, and tell us all about those.
Yeah, I run hurdles, and I also do high jump, and high jump's definitely my best event. Right now I hold the record at our school for high jump. Actually, I broke it last year a couple times.
That's fantastic.
That really is fantastic.
What goes into training for high jump, and what have been some kind of things you've been able to do to improve your performance throughout the years?
It's really just like a lot of repetition, especially like mainly leg workouts, but you also have to like build flexibility with like pretty much your whole body, because it's really a whole body thing that goes into it in the end.
So tell us about basketball. You play basketball too. Did you start with track and add basketball the other way around? How'd that work?
I kind of started with basketball, but both my parents did track, so I always wanted to do track. And then once I got to high school and had knew there was going to be a good track program, I really put my effort into it, and I ended up being really good at it.
Is track something that you might try and pursue at the collegiate level?
Yeah, I haven't fully decided yet, but I do plan on reaching out to the coach at the college that I want to go to.
And tell us a little bit about that. What are some schools you're considering, and where may you land? And tell us all that.
I'm mostly considering UCF. That's really where I'd like to go. It's kind of just like I went to tour it, and it was like one of those places where you just go and you see it, and you just know it's the right place, because I just immediately fell in love with it. And then I know they have a really good track program specifically for the girls, and they don't have a lot of girl high jumpers there, so I thought that would be a good thing to try out, because I can't really imagine myself not doing a sport. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't doing one.
I get it.
Yeah, how important has that been, that athletic component, to being such a well-rounded student?
It's a really big part of my life, and honestly, I don't think I could do it one without the other. They go hand in hand most of the time.
You're also involved in a lot of clubs, activities you like to give back. There's a long list here: Deck the Chairs, Food Banks, Beaches Go Green. Tell us all about some of the things you like the best.
I do really like going to the food banks. That's something I've always liked since I was little. At my grandma's church, when I went with her when I was little, we always packaged meals for families and stuff, and that's something that I really like to do, packaging things for people in need and giving back to them.
Cool.
I would certainly think if UCF is where you want to go, you will get there with this great resume that you have. Do you know what you want to study once you get into college?
I'm planning on studying mechanical engineering, and hopefully one day I would like to get like an internship at like a theme park or something, because I'd like to like learn how like the mechanics of like roller coasters and stuff are like built, and I'd like to design those.
That would be fantastic.
Designing roller coasters. That'd be
what a fun job that would be.
I'm going to go on when you design. Make sure it's safe, because I'm a big chicken. Yeah. Okay, but absolutely.
I trust you.
Yeah. Oh, that is great. Danielle Powell is our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. She's from Mandarin High School. Terrific student, terrific basketball player, really good at track and field. Might wind up at UCF as a mechanical engineer. Thanks for coming by. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Danielle Powell is our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week from Mandarin High School. A very good high jumper. Has got the school record many times over at Mandarin for high jump. She has said it, and then she broke it. Always good to have our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week.
That might be the coolest. I mean, we've had some really amazing professions that these kids want to get into. But, I mean, the little kid in me sort of, brightened up when I heard, I want to design roller coasters.
Me too.
That's fantastic.
Too. Absolutely. I'm going to get to the Jaguar GM search in a bit, and we're going to go through the 5 candidates. But I got to go back to this thing last night. Let me give you a list. JJ, I'm going to scroll through a list of people that were there. Jack Nicholson, Robert De Niro, Kevin Costner, Tom Hanks, Will Ferrell, Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, Eddie Murray, Meryl Streep, John Hamm, Steve Martin, Martin Short, Paul McCartney, Paul Simon, Cher, Billy Crystal, Woody Harrelson, Adam Sandler, Jason Sudeikis, Paul Rudd, Jimmy Fallon, Peyton Manning, because of course he's everywhere, Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Nate Bargatze, because he's also everywhere, Ben Stiller, Alec Baldwin, Drew Barrymore, Chris Rock, Zach Galifianakis. I mean, Miley Cyrus. I could keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do this. I could double the list I just went.
You forgot John Lovitz.
Yeah, and I did forget. He's on here. But isn't it amazing? It's amazing how many people were at this thing. And also, by the way, look, I'm 66. I've watched this stuff since I was in high school. And I know that I've gotten older because I'm 66. But these guys aren't supposed to get older.
It really is amazing.
I mean, let me give you the ages. Jack Nicholson's 87. Did you know that? Would you have known? I mean, I guess if you think about it, you would have.
Like Gene Hackman's 95.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I would have known Nicholson is in his late 80s.
Nicholson's 87. Paul Simon's 83. McCartney's 82. De Niro's 81. Chevy Chase is 81. Chevy Chase can't be 81.
It really is hard to believe.
He's 81. I mean, Billy Crystal's 76. Cher is 78. And again, I know that's what happens every year. You get a year older. I know the biology of it. Okay, I know how the numbers work.
But it's totally changed.
It's not biology. But yeah, Kevin Costner's 70. Seinfeld 70. Steve Martin did the opening monologue, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's 79.
And Martin Short was great.
He's
got to be
74.
I was going to say somewhere in there.
Yeah. Paul Simon sang the opening song at 83. McCartney sang the last song at 82. It was really funny. They didn't pull back now. They pushed the envelope almost the entire time. I mean, Saturday Night Live made its living on being not politically correct. And they were very intentional last night, I thought, about not being politically correct. I
Without
thought,
a doubt.
I mean, that's who the show is.
Right.
And yet our society has become more politically correct than ever, the cancel culture and all that. So I wondered if Saturday Night Live would push the envelope like it always had in this era, as much as it ever had.
Yeah.
But it was funny. It was good.
And some of it misfired. But, but some of it was funny.
Yeah, which is always the case.
Yeah.
But I thought it was an amazing night. Again, I am so antsy. I am so ADD. For me to sit there and lock in for 3.5 hours. I mean, I get up from the Super Bowl and walk around at some point, right? For me to lock in for 3 hours and 24 minutes, I just don't do that. I thought that's how good it was. I thought it was great.
I thought it was fantastic. I love the concert Saturday night, too. I thought it was just 2 nights of just spectacular entertainment. And, yeah, I mean, again, to see the combinations of talents that you just never really got a chance to see. And you know, again, it wasn't a perfect show. There was going to be things that, you know, like I love Phil Hartman. I would have loved for there to have been a little bit more about Phil Hartman.
Right.
Sandler did a fantastic tribute song.
That was the best part of the night.
Yeah.
It was 5 minutes.
And
it was the best part of the night.
and obviously he mentions Chris Farley and Norm Macdonald, who are, I mean, gods to me in terms of comedy. But yeah, so I mean, but in terms of the scope, I mean, to try and cram 50 years of content and, you know, into a greatest kind of hits of 3.5 hours and do original skits, and have some music to it as well. I thought it really came across well. Bringing up their best fake commercials, I thought was a great moment. So yeah, it was.
Oops, I crapped my pants.
They had that.
Yeah, they did.
The only one they didn't have that I liked is they didn't have Bad Idea jeans.
I don't know that one. I gotta watch that
yeah,
one.
you'll have to YouTube that one.
Yeah, but what was so cool about it is I got into Saturday night. The three of us have different eras that we loved. Okay, because we're different ages.
Right.
I'm 66. You're 47, 48. JJ, you were 34.
Yeah,
35?
mine's Will Ferrell era.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
So they're all different. Yet it covered everything. I can tell you, if there's one, I always thought if there's one star of Saturday Night Live, it was probably Bill Murray, and Bill Murray was there, and he was very good. If you based it on what highlights you saw the most, and maybe they didn't show as many highlights of the current people because they were there. It wasn't just posthumous highlights, but the guy that made every highlight was Belushi.
Yes,
but Belushi was the megastar. Mm-hmm. He was in more clips, didn't you think?
Yeah.
I thought he was in more clips.
They even showed a full skit of his from like 1976.
Yeah, I mean he was the megastar.
Yeah.
But I mean it was Chevy Chase, and you said you saw him both times. I never saw Chevy Chase until the very end when they were all shaking hands at the end. I never saw him, and you said he's kind of.
I think there's some bitterness, like in terms of he wants to be there, he wants to be honored, but I think the perception is he believes that he kind of is the reason that it became a phenomenon.
Right.
Which
it isn't given credit for it. In his
correct.
mind.
So I think they are hesitant to use him.
He seems to be hated by everyone he's ever worked with.
Yeah.
Which I respect.
There was even like a story. So there was a movie, I think we talked about it maybe in headlines, that there was going to be this Saturday Night Live movie about their first year, may even just been their first performance. I haven't seen the movie yet. But the director, Ivan Reitman's kid, Jason Reitman, directed it. And Chevy Chase comes up to him at the premiere. He told this story a couple days later. Reitman did. Chevy Chase comes up to him right as soon as the film is done screening.
Right.
And comes up to him and says, well, you should be embarrassed. That's just sort of how he is. So I think it was like, yes, we need to have Chevy there. Obviously, Jimmy Fallon, it might have been Saturday night. Jimmy Fallon specifically mentioned him, or was it last night?
They mentioned him last night.
Maybe it was last night. Jimmy Fallon went out of his way. I think it was maybe Saturday actually, because Fallon was the host of the concert.
Right.
But yeah, so they wanted you to know that he was there and what a big part of it he was, but I don't think they wanted to use him in a bit like they did Bill Murray, who obviously ranked his best weekend update anchors of all time, which was fantastic.
I think the funniest part, he goes, listen, and he called Chevy by his name, Corey something Chase.
Yeah, Cornelius.
Cornelius Chase. He said, listen, he's the one that got this all started. He's the master. He's the one. So I can't think of any better place for him on this list than fourth. That was hilarious. Yeah. So
I would have loved to see Norm.
I know.
Sad.
I know.
Yeah.
To me, his weekend updates were just ruthless, man.
Yeah,
because the little amount of time they let him do it.
And they made reference of the OJ shot, the shots at OJ that everyone says got him fired.
Yeah.
And so
because they warned him repeatedly to stop putting it in, and he just would not.
Yeah, and correct. And so he, but of the ones that were not, the ones that have died of note, Belushi, Hartman, Norm Macdonald. Was there any
Gilda
Radner, right? So, and how about when Garrett Morris came out? You wouldn't remember him.
I remember him from. I mean, I've seen the most famous, at least from my generation, sketch that he was in was where he plays the baseball player
Chico Escuela.
Yeah,
Chico Escuela. Baseball been very, very good to me. Yes. Okay, and he said, I mean, that was his thing. He was Chico Escuela, the baseball player. Baseball been very, very good to me. And the funniest moment ever was of the Chico Escuela moments was when Jackie Smith, the tight end dropped the ball. That was a gigantic story. It was a Steelers-Cowboy. You know the story. It was a Steelers-Cowboy Super Bowl, and he dropped the ball, and it was even bigger than the Steelers beating the Cowboys. 35-31 was the fact that he dropped the pass. And, I mean, way more. That's why everyone referenced the Mark Andrews drop. And in the very following Saturday, Chico Escuela was doing the news. He was doing the update, and he go, Jackie Smith, no keepy eye on the ball. And it became the funniest thing. Yeah. It was hilarious. So, no, that was Garrett Morris was 88. He's 88 years old. 88. Yeah. And he was on there. He said he was sitting down.
He was sitting down, but at the end it was cool. He was so inspired, and it probably didn't help that Martin Short was standing right in front of him.
Right.
So Paul Simon kind of helped him get to his feet.
But it was really. I mean,
it was really well done. I mean, for something to bring in that many celebrities,
it was one of the best things I ever saw on TV. And I will tell you, I thought a neat moment was Nicholson at 87 years old introducing Adam Sandler. Yeah. And how cool it was for Sandler.
Right.
When Sandler goes, wow, Jack made it out. Jack, we love you.
Yeah.
Before he even got into his thing. Mm-hmm. So it was again, if you have a chance to go back and watch it.
Rachel Dratch was phenomenal with her Debbie Downer.
Really funny.
I mean, it was really well done.
Yeah. So if you have a chance to go back and watch it on Peacock, and again, not everybody's into Saturday Night Live, but again, the three of us have three different generations of Saturday Night Live that we loved. And they all connected on the show. It was really good. We'll take a break. Let's talk about the Jaguars general manager candidates after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL.
I just came from the locker room, and one of the players told me this.
Home of the Jaguars, 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Frank Frangie here for my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
This is Daytona, the awe-inspiring spectacle of Supercross, and the most challenging course to witness the air-catching, adrenaline-pumping, heart-pounding action unlike any other race in Florida. Daytona Supercross. The biggest names battle it out under the lights at the World Center of Racing. Don't miss it. The gate drops Saturday, March 1st. Secure your tickets and trackside access today at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what Wonderworld wants you to do. Wonderworld knows there are other window companies out there.
but we also know those other guys. When compared to Window World, they can't offer you the quality at the price that Window World can.
And with Window World, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, Window World and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with Window World, and to top it off, Window World windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with Window World. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Slacker plumbing.
Yeah, hey, listen, I need a plumber over here right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any openings for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
I was just changing the shower head and the water line broke and it's flying everywhere.
All right, 1 week.
What if I throw you an extra $100 to come now?
What's the address?
It's 205.
Well, I guess he changed his mind.
If you've got a leak that can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing and fix your plumbing problems fast. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
This month, 1010XL shines the spotlight on African Americans in our community who have made the First Coast a better place to live. I'm E.T. Listen for my stories during Black History Month on 1010XL. Brought to you by Instant Keys and McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center.
In a divorce, it's important to have a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We champion your rights as an individual and your role as a parent, taking an aggressive approach in court while leveling the legal playing field in domestic matters. That's what a champion does. That's what Cordell & Cordell can do for you.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren here from Helmets and Heels. When it's time for new tires, look no further than Big Chief Tire. Their experts will help you quickly find the right fit, ensuring a safe and comfortable ride. With quality options, fair prices, and quick installation, you'll be back on the road in no time. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment and roll into 2025 with even greater confidence, guaranteed. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Hey, Ma, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
All kind of fun stuff going on at the Best Bet. Saturday the 25th brings you the $200 double board bomb plot. That is going to be so much fun stuff going on. Go to bestbetjacks.com and find out all about the fun stuff they're doing. You'll never have a bad time at the Best Bet. There's 3 locations. St. Augustine, just off of I-95, on 17 in Orange Park, just over the Buckman if you're coming from the south side. And, of course, Monument Road, the Jacksonville location, is just absolutely gorgeous. So if you want to really have a good time, head to the Best Bet. 3 great locations here on the First Coast. The Jags have narrowed it to 5 candidates for their general manager search. They interviewed 10. It's down to 5 now. The 5 candidates are Ian Cunningham with the Bears currently, James Gladstone currently with the Rams, John Eric Sullivan currently with the Packers, Ethan Waugh, who's here, Josh Williams, who's currently with the 49ers. A couple thoughts. I said this again last week. I said this last week. I'll say it again today. All 5 I think are in it. I have no idea if Liam, Tony Baselli, Shad, everybody involved in this, I have no idea if they're leaning toward any of the 5. I wouldn't tell you if I did, but I honestly have no idea. I have no idea who's the front runner. You see sometimes on social media that Ian Cunningham is the front runner. I don't know to believe that. Other times you see on social media that James Gladstone is the wonder boy, and I don't know. I do know this. My guess is, as hard as they've worked at this, that's 5 really good candidates. Secondly, I'll reiterate this. Don't assume because Ethan Waugh was with Trent Baalke that he is Trent Baalke 2.0. You made the point, and I've made the point, both made it last week, that he's a totally different kind of person. He's organized. He's thorough. He's been very impressive and very helpful to the staff as they've gone through this search, and I do know that for a fact. Okay, so he is a really respected guy. His personality is totally different than Trent's. I'm not trying to rag on Trent.
And it's honestly probably why he was appealing to Trent.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
Because he's not wired the same way.
He's wired so this is a very, very respected guy. Again, I have no idea if Ethan Waugh is going to be their GM or if Ian Cunningham, James Gladstone, John Eric Sullivan, or Josh Williams. I really don't know. But don't assume that they got it wrong because they hired a guy off of Trent's staff. I'm just going to tell you that without knowing what the chances are that he's going to get it. Secondly, I will tell you that Josh Williams is the one I've read the least about. The rest I've read a lot about, I've asked about. It's a good list, man. John Eric Sullivan, for people that don't know, is the son of Jerry Sullivan, who was a longtime wide receivers coach here. He's also coached at LSU and all over, but he was here for a long time and a very respected receivers coach.
Bortles era.
Correct. James Gladstone, you know by now, is so respected. You've seen videos of him and everybody. I mean, Les Snead's wife, you ever see her on Twitter? Les Snead's wife can't quit talking about what a superstar. And Les Snead, and I think you told the story, and I read about it after you told it, that they found him when he was coaching.
Yeah, he was an OC in like a St. Louis high school.
OC at a high school, and that's
that Les's kid was playing
Snead's play, and so he's very close to the Snead family, and people rave about this guy Gladstone. I can tell you that. Ian Cunningham has been the hot name all along. Whether or not he's the guy or not, I don't know, but he's the one that the social media rumors have been saying is the guy.
He's the favorite.
Yeah, and that seems to be the belief on social media that Ian Cunningham's the favorite. James Gladstone is the wonder boy. John Eric Sullivan is a rising star who's got sort of Jaguar connections because his dad coached here. Ethan Waugh is on the staff now. Josh Williams is one I don't know much about. He's the one I probably know the least about. He's the only surprised finalist to me. And that doesn't mean he's not good enough to be a finalist. It's just he's the one I knew the least about.
Yeah, I would say that as you look at it, I think it's really 3 guys. I don't think Williams and Sullivan are
in play.
They're in play because they made the list, but I would put it at like less than 10% chance on both those guys. I think it's Cunningham's to lose. I don't think they'll hire Ethan Waugh, but I think they want to make sure that they want to show appreciation for Ethan Waugh, who I think will remain here as the lieutenant, one of the lieutenants for whoever is the GM.
He's really respected in the building. Much. There's no debating.
Yeah, so I think he will still be a Jaguar, but I don't think that. I don't think he'll be the GM. And I think Gladstone has a chance because they've opened their arms so much to where the NFL is headed that it wouldn't surprise me if Gladstone dazzles them in person and they say, you know what, this is our guy. But I think it's like, I would say like 50% Cunningham, 30% Gladstone, and then probably like 15% Waugh, and then 7.5% for Williams and Sullivan.
And that's reading the tea leaves.
Correct.
That's not really sourced information that I'm hearing. I think that's just reading the tea leaves. I assume that's because if you read the tea leaves, that's what the tea leaves would tell you. If you read social media and hear that, again, I don't know. And again, if I knew, I wouldn't tell you because it's and I'll say this, I'll give the Jaguars the benefit of the doubt here. They're bringing it. The interviews don't start till Wednesday. They're going to interview them through Friday. So obviously, some of those days, 2 of those days, there's going to be at least 2 of them. So my guess is that it'll be 2 one day, 2 one day, 1 the other day, based on how they break that down. You would think. I wouldn't think they'd do 3 in a day. So I would.
That would be tough.
I would think you're going to do 2 interviews on one day, 2 interviews on some other day, and then the third day of those 3, one guy gets interviewed. So and they're all in-person interviews, so they'll all be here. And so, but I would think all 5 guys have a legitimate chance to be the Jaguar GM, or they wouldn't be bringing him in. It wouldn't be fair to them to bring him in if they didn't have a chance to be the Jaguar GM. So we'll see. We'll see what winds up happening. Ian Cunningham certainly seems to be the guy that people talk about the most. The one I'm most intrigued with is Gladstone. I just find myself just intrigued with him because people that I do talk to, people that are not just people in Jacksonville, people around the league, the people around the league that you know, media people around the league that have probably also talked to Les Snead or whoever, just rave about this guy. I don't think there's, I will say this, of the guys on this list, the two I'm confident, very confident will be general managers in the league are Ian Cunningham and James Gladstone. They're the two I'm very confident will be general managers in the league. See, it's hard to get those jobs. Mike Bergonzi was the next hottest thing.
He had
forever.
to wait like 8 years.
Yeah,
basically.
so I mean, it was you. I mean, these guys wait a long time to get these jobs. So
the GM job does not turn over nearly as much as the coach job.
Correct, not nearly as much, and it's a different paradigm on how you search for them. You know, there's different data. You don't have the coaching stuff's right in front of you. The GM stuff is not, and so but the two guys that I just based on gut that I would be surprised if they're not general managers in the National Football League at some point in their careers are Ian Cunningham and James Gladstone, in part because they're so young. Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of time to do it, and you're young and you're already so respected in the industry. So we'll see. But again, I think my guess would be you'll know who the Jaguar GM is. My guess is by the weekend. I don't know if they'll announce it then, but you got to figure the Schefters and the Rappaports, and something will come out.
And honestly, I don't know how they'll.
And they may announce it by then.
And I don't know how they'll do it. What they should, in my opinion, what they should do is they should have a list 1 through 5 of this is how we like them going into this, and bring in one first. And let's just say that's Ian Cunningham. If the interview goes great, get it done. Just finish it. If he comes in, I mean, you don't have to spend 3 more days on this. They're behind. Like, they may not realize that, but they're behind the other 31. Now, that doesn't mean they can't still have a great offseason. But if on Wednesday you were interviewing the 5th guy on your list, that doesn't make a ton of sense to me unless logistically it was the only way it could be done. But, I mean, if they can save 72 hours, I would do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if you love the
I hear you. And I don't know what their process is and why it's 5. You know what I mean? Why is there 5 finalists, not 2? Yeah, I don't know the processing. I know for me, I don't know that I don't know that the difference between hiring them Thursday or Saturday is a big deal to me. I do think getting them here before the combine is important. I do think certainly getting them here before the 28th, when you can't hire a guy, is critically important. So I hear you, but I don't know that for me. At this point, if there's a difference between Wednesday and Saturday, it doesn't.
I mean, we're now inside a month before the new league year has begun.
Right.
I mean, there's hours of conversations that clubs have that they have yet to have.
Yeah. So
that's a little bit of a concern.
Right. I would be because there's 5 finalists and we know that now. I would be surprised if they hire anybody before Friday or Saturday. I would now be surprised. Just to be respectful of the process. To your point, if they'd have set up the process differently, that's what you're saying. Set the process.
Well, I mean, look, it's a tough business, and if you interview the first guy, and again, let's just for argument's sake say it's Ian Cunningham. If he's the first one on Wednesday and it goes great, and you love what you hear, and you can make a deal, I would call the other 4 and say we appreciate your time, we really enjoyed it, but we have our guy.
Yeah, I would be shocked if that happened. I would be, and I could be wrong. I would be shocked now I would expect now all 5 guys get an interview. They don't show their hand to anybody until all 5, and then they decide Friday or Saturday. My guess will be, now again, that could leak out. Other information could leak out, but I would be surprised. We'll see. We'll know soon enough. But I'd be surprised if they announce it before Friday. But I would also be surprised if we don't know by Monday. So I would be very.
There's almost no choice.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say they've got to have this decision made by like noon on Sunday. I mean, it at that point, it's kind of like what are we doing here? I mean, literally, you're going to be hiring somebody, and 48 hours later, he's going to be on a podium in Indianapolis if they do what they normally have done, answering questions about this organization and its direction.
Right.
I mean, it just stands to reason that you'd like that person to have more than a day on the job before that happens. Because, again, that's not just local Jacksonville media.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be everybody that's at the combine that is more than welcome to go up to that podium and ask him whatever they want.
When do you think it's going to be announced?
I'm going to say it'll be announced Friday at 5:30.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, I would think as early as that. That wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Friday afternoon would not surprise me one bit. Friday afternoon, Saturday, somewhere thereabouts. I think but I'd be surprised if they would announce anything after these 5 candidates schedule their interviews to come here. So we'll see what ones. So I think by the weekend you'll know who the Jaguar general manager is. We'll take a break. Let's talk Gator hoops after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
I did not see this one coming.
Radio play-by-play is like stepping in a theater in your mind.
As good as it gets.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
I'm Renee Harrell. At Harold & Harold, we understand when you've been in an accident, there's a lot to handle. You've lost pay, and now the medical bills are piling up. When there isn't much insurance, some attorneys will pay your bills, take their fee, leaving you with even less than them. Not at Harold & Harold. We'll work hard to reduce your medical bills, and we promise our fee will never be more than you take home. Call us today, 904-251-1111. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
When the heat's on high or the chill is too much, who you gonna call? Cool Cats Heating and Cooling is locally owned and operated with a perfect touch. You'll keep your home just right, day or night. AC to heating, don't take a beating. Call the coolest cats in town. With a 5-star Google rating, they're your neighbors, ready to help. So get your paw of approval from Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town. CoolCatsJacks.com.
If you're listening to 1010 and you're a parent, chances are your kids are playing sports. Well, check out i9sports.com with spring and summer registration open right now, including all new girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. i9sports.com, enter 1010 for a discount.
Hey gang, Prosser here. We've talked about some of the struggles that you may come across when it comes time to sell your home. We've told you how great Chad and Sandy are at chadandsandy.com. But, they're also great when things are going good, and the economy is showing positive signs. Now may be the time to sell your home at the price you want. It's easy to find out. Get friendly expert help from the Jacksonville agents who eat and sleep local real estate. Call my agents, Chad and Sandy Newman. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Chad and Sandy can do that. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Well, let's take care of that right now, because here's the Chad and Sandy guarantee. Your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jonathan in Mount Pleasant said, the only thing standing between me and my dream of traveling in my RV was the sale of my Mount Pleasant home. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Crazy results in just 3 days. Multiple offers, full asking price. You can get it too. Call today or go to chadandsandy.com.
Go inside your home team's locker room with Jags beat reporter Hays Carlyon.
Check out my blog at 1010XL.com
so you can catch all the news and nuggets you need to know.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing,
where quality and experience count. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it. And send them a cute and floral arrangement. ET here with 1010XL. You'll be assured of a quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at juneflowers.com.
The Players is proud to support Canine Companions in their mission to provide highly trained service dogs to adult, children, and veterans with disabilities free of charge. 22 days to the Players.
The Edwin Watts Golf Hour will meet you at the green.
Blue skies, fresh cut grass, birds chirping.
The Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Grip it and rip it.
Get tips, tour notes, and the latest gear Saturday mornings at 10 on 1010XL.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Did you know your pup could take 30,000 to 60,000 steps a day at Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard? That's a whole lot of tail wagging fun with their best furry friends. At Dogtopia, they turn playtime into exercise, learning, and socialization in their off-leash, open play environment. Dogs build confidence, reduce anxiety, and stay happy and healthy, all while having the time of their lives. Visit Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard today.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Dogtopia at Beach and St. John's Bluff. Jaguar quarterback Trevor Lawrence, during a podcast interview earlier today, dismissed any rumors that he's moving to Pittsburgh.
I have no trade clause in my contract, so I would know about it if I was getting traded. Or
the latest USA Today men's top 25 poll has been released, and the Florida men's basketball team is ranked second in the nation. The Gators' most recent win was against the South Carolina Gamecocks on Saturday. Head coach Todd Golden emphasized regrouping for the second half.
Really, the message at halftime was that we just needed to play hard.
The Jacksonville Dolphin men's basketball team faced their first road conference defeat of the year over the weekend against North Alabama. The team will return to Florida next to play against Florida Gulf Coast on tomorrow. The game is scheduled to start at 6:30. The game will be streamed on 1010XL. At your local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
It's 55 degrees at 5:02 p.m. Time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
We thank our friends from the Best Bet. 3 great locations, and man, a longtime sponsor of this program. We appreciate it more than I can tell you. A lot of fun in the market, too, I can tell you. 3 great places, St. Augustine, Orange Park, and Jacksonville. You're always near a Best Bet location, if you can hear me right now. Great fun. Head to the Best Bet. I was wrong. I could tell Florida had a good basketball team early on. I really thought this was a no-doubt Sweet 16 team from the early part of the season. I had no idea they'd be like this. I had no idea. They were down Alex Condon, who was probably their second best player behind Walter Clayton. They were down Sam Alexis, who, say what you want, is a guy that does give them some good minutes. They were down Elijah Martin, at least as a starter after missing 2 games. I know they're playing a team that wasn't very good. I get it. But they went and found 2 guys, not found, they've had them all year, that were not starters, that so help me look like NBA players. When you have 2 potential, in fact, I think the best NBA prospect on the team might be Denzel Aberdeen. He might be the best NBA guy. He's 6'5". He's super athletic. He's the most athletic guy on the team. He's the longest guy for his height on the team. He can bury threes. I mean, I didn't realize what a good shooter he is. He might be their best NBA prospect. In fact, he and Houck might be their best too. And so, not their best players now. Clayton's their best player. But I got to tell you, are they 9-3? 8-3? What are they in the league?
No, they're 9-3.
They're 9-3 in the league.
In league play.
I'm the one that kept saying, just get to 10 wins. they're going to get to 10 wins with 4 games left.
Yeah, they really should finish 13-5.
Yeah, they certainly. This is that's right. There's probably
at the minimum.
Yeah. There's probably a pretty good chance they get to 12 or 13 wins here in the league. Hays, maybe Todd Golden is just an amazingly good coach. He's got the toughness they show, and in this day and age, you got to make shots. Their ability to make shots. I will tell you now. We've said it before. The ceiling's the national championship. The floor is a Sweet 16, but I almost wonder if the floor is the Elite 8. And it's hard to say that.
I mean, I think they could lose in the 8-9 game.
Yeah.
I think they could lose the 7-10 if you don't play well. You're going to get beat. But they're going to have to play a stinker to lose in the second round.
Yeah.
Obviously, if they're a 1 or a 2 seed, they're going to have a 99% chance.
I would think now the worst seed they'll get to 3. They're probably a 1 or 2. Which means if you're a 2, you get the 15. Then you get the 7. Now the 7 could be a good team, but I thought you could tell early on they were really good. They're better than even I thought they were. They really are.
It's a team that I think is second to only the 04s in terms of how balanced, talented, well coached they are. It's remarkable. And to see them go through this attrition and to have Aberdeen and Houck not just step up, but become 2 of the best players in the SEC that are, oh, by the way, going to be back on the bench in 2 weeks, it's incredible. I mean, who does that? I mean, that's something that, like, if it happened at Kansas, it'd be like, wow, that's impressive. For it to happen with Florida and a coach in his 3rd year, it's remarkable. Aberdeen had a career-high 22 points the other day on 8 of 12 shooting, 5 of 7 on the 3, 3 assists, no turnovers again, which has been a theme for him since in this little 4-game run.
And he's handling the ball a lot.
Yeah. Then you've got Houck, career-high, 20 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He was a plus 28 in this game, which was highest of any player competing. So when he was on the floor, Florida won by 28 points over South Carolina. And that has been a theme. Houck is almost always the leader in the plus-minus for the Gators. So when he's on the floor, great things are happening. How incredible was his find of Aberdeen in the corner? Late in the shot clock, the game was maybe 10 minutes left in the game. It was still competitive.
Right.
And Houck's at like the top of the key, drives in. I don't know how he saw Aberdeen.
Right.
Kicks it out to Aberdeen, who in the corner has been lethal. Aberdeen knocks down the 3. Those are plays that you just don't have reserve big men make. Like Houck it's almost like, I understand this is like the holy grail of Florida basketball. So this is a gigantic statement. I understand that. But it's almost like Houck is having the Noah second-year jump in the middle of this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he's become incredible at everything. I mean, he was flirting with a triple-double the other night, and again, he has just become an unbelievable player. And it was great seeing Han Logden back out there, who had to give him more minutes because Chinlelu, is consistently in foul trouble. Although I'll even give him, it's not like he played bad. How good is Chinlelu's hands?
Yeah.
They're on a fast break. Kind of out of control. I think it was Richard. No, it wasn't Richard. Maybe it was Aberdeen. Somebody threw Chinlelu a pass late in the break. It's behind him. He's running full speed. This is like a 6'10 guy. Catches the ball behind his head and is able to still dunk it to finish it. They just have talented athletes everywhere.
You said something really interesting. The second-year jump. Great call on Noah because he made it. A lot of them made it, but he didn't play much that first year.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he was a big-time player.
Best player in the country in the second year.
Yeah. But that's coaching. And think about how many guys on the team have made that jump. Walter Clayton was great last year, but he's greater this year.
Yes.
Will Richards, a totally different guy this year. Condon's better this year. Houck, to your point, is way better. Aberdeen wasn't like this. So the jumps those guys have all made have been pretty significant. They really have. Henlogton was good to see him back out. He's clearly out of shape.
Yeah.
He doesn't look the part. He looked like he's got a little.
He had 5 assists, though, which was a career high for him.
And he played well, and he's going to help them. Believe me, he's a very skilled 7'1" player that knows how to play. You can just tell he's not, and it's not his fault.
No,
he's just not in basketball.
He's not.
Yet.
It was a hard 19 minutes. By his own admission, it was a hard 19
But he
minutes,
doesn't have that lean body he had before. He's got a body that looks like he hadn't played basketball in a year. And so, but he'll help them for some minutes. And it happened at the right time. They play Oklahoma, who they should beat. They go on the road to play Georgia, who they should beat. They go on the road to play LSU, who they should beat. You know, the next 3 games they play, one's at home, 2's on the road. Look, they could get upset. Anybody can get upset. But they are well positioned to play all those teams. And I don't know that I bring back Condon before March 1st, before that home game against A&M. Probably bring him back for that. By the way, the schedule isn't going to dictate when you bring him back. His health is, and how he recovers is going to dictate. But I don't know that it'd be in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly it matters if he's sort of iffy.
Yeah,
and they say, well, he's cleared, but another couple of days would be better. I mean, because you look at, they're going to host Oklahoma tomorrow, who's 3-9 in league play. They then go to LSU this weekend, who's 2-10 in conference play. Then they go to Georgia, and the wheels have fallen off for Mike White and the Bulldogs. They're 4-9 in league play now.
And now I will prepare you. One of those 3 games is going to be close.
Right.
There's going to be some nervous. If you think they're going to go beat all 3 of those teams by 25 points and empty the bench with 10 minutes left, that's not the way the SEC. That's not the way college basketball works. But to your point,
but look at what the other contenders in the league have. So Florida basically has 3 pretty easy games coming up. I mean, relatively in the league.
Correct.
Then they have 3 really hard games to finish. They host A&M, who's 11th in the net, even higher in the AP poll. They go to Alabama, who's 6th in the net, and then they host Ole Miss, who's 25th. So they have 3 very losable games, although 2 of them are at least at home to close the year. But Florida's right in this thing at 9-3. I mean, they're 2 games back of Auburn, they're 1 game back of Bama, and they're tied with A&M. So there's really 4 teams as you look at it. So we've given you Florida's finish. Auburn finishes with a home game against Arkansas, a home game against Georgia, a home game against Ole Miss. They close at Kentucky, at Texas A&M, home against Bama.
Yeah, 3 hard games.
So Auburn has, I'd say, 4 really tough games because Ole Miss at home is a tough game. This is what Alabama has. This is just sick.
Yeah, go through it.
Alabama has at Missouri, home against Kentucky, home against Mississippi State, at Tennessee, home against Florida, at Auburn.
Yeah,
they have 6 losable games
left. That's a brutal schedule.
And then even A&M has at Mississippi State, home against Tennessee, home against Vandy, at Florida, home against Auburn, and then at LSU. So they have 5 very difficult games. So, I mean, really, in looking at it, Florida, yes, they've got 3 hard games at the end, but if they can take advantage of these next 3, they really might be playing for the SEC title in the last week of the season.
I've thought all along Auburn was the best team in the country. I still think that, although the Gators went there and dominated them.
Right.
They dominated.
Auburn got a huge win Saturday at Alabama.
That game was at Alabama. Alabama's got the best. The last 2 years, Alabama's basketball program is in the best shape of its history. Last year, they went to the Final Four for the first time in the history of the program. And this year, they're equally good. So they've got the best program. Their program is in the best shape in its history, Hayes. And they never led Auburn. In a home game against your arch rival, they never led the game. Wow. That tells you about Auburn.
Oh, yeah. Lenardi says Auburn could lose 2 games, and they'd still be
a 1 seed.
The overall one.
Even, they are really good. Their schedule has been that good. Interesting stuff. We'll take a break. When we come back, Hayes has headlines. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Play-by-play just makes everyday life better.
I did not see this one coming.
Get the most play-by-play on 1010XL. Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio.
This is Hays Carlyon for Physician-Guided Weight Loss. I'm down over 20 pounds already thanks to Physician-Guided Weight Loss. I feel great, and it's all thanks to them. Their amazing technology, fast setup, friendly staff, and proven results have sold me. They can help you too, and it's affordable with firm pricing, no rising costs as you go. If you're like me and looking to kick off the new year with a leaner body, Call my friends at Physician Guided Weight Loss at 257-4344. That's 257-4344.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interest first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging in the mirror? Fine lines, sun damage, redness? They don't have to be part of your future. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, and I can help you look and feel your best without invasive surgery or painful treatments. Imagine rejuvenating your skin in a relaxing, comfortable environment with minimal to no downtime. Smooth out fine lines, even skin tone, and restore that youthful glow. Find out how to look and feel your best at Dermagnify.com. Dermagnify.com.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Joe C. for Florida Home AC, and now's the time to tune up that heating and AC unit. Take advantage of their $69 seasonal tune-up special. Keep warm in the winter and cool in the summer with Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, often no appraisals. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. Get the money you need for anything at 904-999-1508 or just go to LoanPronto.com. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. JJ LaSelva is as well. I am Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harrell and Harrell. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we're going to start with the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence. Really, we haven't heard from Trevor Lawrence since Liam Cohen was hired. Trevor Lawrence joined Kay Adams today on her podcast. They were supposed to talk Super Bowl week. It didn't happen, so they made it up today. But that worked out kind of good for Jaguar fans because Trevor was able to get into kind of the current state of affairs with the Jaguars. Had some really interesting comments about Liam Cohen, and here's that clip.
The play calling is super important. I think being a head coach, there's a lot more to it than that, though. Obviously, that's one side of the ball, and he's responsible for that as far as our plan. And then when the game starts, he's going to be the one calling it. So, of course, that's important. But I think just from the leadership perspective, having that energy day in, day out is something that I think our team needs. We've been through a lot. The last two seasons have been not what we expected after what we did, 2 years ago. And I think this team just needs some juice. And I know he's going to bring that. And as players, I'm ready to lead and bring that as well, because we all have to buy in, right? We have to buy into what he's doing, the culture he's trying to set.
You know what? I love the comment. And again, players know. Fans, media, us, we fall in love with play calling. But it's way bigger than that. It's culture, it's trust, it's running the organization, it's being the CEO. And Trevor says that's what Liam needs to do, and I think he's going to do a good job, and so does Trevor. Interesting comments, though, for sure.
The Jaguars have updated their general manager search. They are down to 5 final candidates with interviews set up for this week in person. Chicago's Ian Cunningham, the LA Rams' James Gladstone, and in-house candidate Ethan Waugh appear to be the most realistic candidates, in addition to San Francisco's Josh Williams and Green Bay's John Eric Sullivan. What's a timetable, do you think, until we'll know who the next GM is?
Yeah, I think Friday afternoon, Saturday morning. I think they're interviewing 5 guys in 3 days. That tells me 2, 2 and 1, 2, 1 and 2, so 1, 2 and 2. My guess is maybe 2 the first day, 2 the second day, and then 1 the third day. And then by then, that would make sense, because if you finish your in-house interviews, on-site interviews by lunchtime on Friday, if you only have 1 on Friday or somewhere thereabouts, then you've got all afternoon to pick your coach and then to name your coach. So I would say Friday afternoon or Saturday, we'll have a pretty good idea who that coach is going to be. Pretty good idea who that general manager is going to be.
A local legend is back with the Jaguars. The Jaguars signed former Bishop Kenny star quarterback John Wolford back to the active roster.
Great high school player. John Wolford was a great high school player. Really good player at Wake Forest at the college level. Has hung around in the NFL. It is interesting that Liam Cohen was able to watch him for a while, at least in Tampa, certainly through camp. And so he's got a little bit of an idea what he's getting, which is kind of cool.
Absolutely. Let's get into college basketball. The Gators rough up South Carolina 88-67 to improve to 22-3 overall and 9-3 in SEC play. That's good for a tie with Texas A&M for third place. Denzel Aberdeen led UF with 22 points, a career high, while Thomas Houck also added a career high, 20 points, stepping up for the injured Alex Condon. The Gators hit 14 threes, shot 60.4% for the game, and had 24 assists to 11 turnovers.
The fact that the 2 best players in that game were 2 guys that, when everybody's healthy, have been non-starters is amazing. I've got to believe if you go 7-on-7, I don't pretend to have watched every Duke and Iowa State game, But I got to believe if you go 7-on-7, nobody's got a better 7. I can tell you this, Alabama and Auburn don't have a better 7. Now, Auburn might be better because they might have a better 5, but I don't think anybody's got a better 7. How can Aberdeen are your 6th and 7th players, which is what they'll be again. I don't think he's going to change the lineup. Not. So it's going to be that they're going to be the 6th and 7th guys.
Right.
No one's got that.
And your 8th is Han Logden.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I mean,
who's a guy that certainly, when in shape, can certainly affect the game in a lot of ways.
Without a doubt. The NCAA Selection Committee has Florida as the 1 seed in the West region. The committee revealed their bracket standings, the 1 through 4 seeds in each region over the weekend. Auburn is the top overall seed, followed by Alabama and Duke. Tennessee is the top number 2 seed, followed by Texas A&M. This is the lone reveal of the season. I was surprised by this. They only do it once. It's not like football where they update it every week. Selection Sunday is coming up March 16th.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Florida drops very low in the seeding list. If they drop below the 3 line, I'd be shocked. Could they drop from 1 to 2 or 3? Yeah, probably. Or possibly. They also could stay on that 1 line, if they continue to win. But I'm pretty confident now, Hays, that they will not be any lower than a 3 seed and quite possibly a 1 or 2, which is where they are right now.
The new AP Top 25 is out. Florida moved up a spot to number 2 in the country behind Auburn. The SEC has 5 teams in the top 7. Auburn, UF, number 4, Alabama, number 6, Tennessee, and number 7, Texas A&M.
Here's what's interesting about that for me is Florida, there's only, 4 games left? No, that's not
6.
Right. 6. There's only 6 games left. But in 2 of those games, Florida plays Alabama and A&M, 1 at home, 1 on the road. And you went through it earlier. You did a great job of going through who they all play. But all these teams are playing each other. So by the time we get to the SEC tournament, we'll have a pretty good idea. And one other thing, too, is the SEC tournament will not matter at all for Florida. And that's the situation. How many times have we said, well, if they win a game,
they need a win.
Well, if you get a win, if you get 2 wins, none of that matters now, which is good.
Absolutely. Clemson ripped FSU 72-46 in Tallahassee. The Noles had 5 assists and 14 turnovers, shot 34% from the field, and made just 8 of 19 free throws. Florida State now 15-10 overall, 6-8 in ACC play. We kind of thought maybe there'd be a little bit of a mini run with Leonard Hamilton, and they had it. They won 2 games after he announced his plans to retire, but that was an ugly loss to Clemson.
That was a tough loss, 72-46 at home. Now, Clemson has a good team, but they're not a blue blood by any sort. That's a tough loss. Listen, it's been baseball's very good, but other than that, it's been a tough go. It's been a tough school year for the Noles, man. Football was really bad. The basketball coach is stepping down after another real mediocre season. It's a tough year. It is. It's a tough year in Tallahassee. It has been.
We previewed this game last week, but top-ranked Auburn made a big statement with a 94-85 road win against number 2 Alabama.
Alabama, with its program at its absolute apex, and I mean in the history of the program, playing at home as a top 2 team against your arch rival, never led in the game. And that's not an indictment of Alabama in my mind. It tells you how good Auburn is. Auburn's really good.
Auburn is really, really good. No doubt about it. JU loses at North Alabama 92-79. The Dolphins allowed a 54.2% shooting night and were out-rebounded 39-28. JU is now 10-4 in ASUN play, tied with Eastern Kentucky for 3rd place. The Dolphins play at Florida Gulf Coast tomorrow night before Thursday's second Rumble at UNF.
Yeah, JU's had a good season. They're 10-4 in the league. They did not have Stephon Payne, their 6'10 center, in that game. They said lower body injury, which is what teams say nowadays. They weren't going to out-rebound. They got out-rebounded badly in large part because they didn't have him. Now, they rotate a lot of guys in that 4 and 5 spot. They're very deep there, but not having Payne really affected them. I'm not surprised they lost that game. That was a road game to a team that's tied for first place. It's a tough schedule. Right now, I think they won't say this, but I would tell you, I think if JU splits the next 2, they'd feel pretty good. And don't assume the UNF game is going to be a win. They've already lost to them once already this year.
Yeah, great point. Speaking of UNF, the Ospreys blow a 17-point halftime lead at Central Arkansas. losing 84-83 in overtime. The Ospreys made 23s, but were outscored from the foul line 21-7. UNF has lost 3 straight and is now in 8th place in conference with a 6-8 mark.
23s.
They made 23s and lost. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, that is amazing. They were up 17. That's a tough one for UNF. That one's a dagger. Just like JU was up 24 and lost in the second half and lost earlier to Gulf Coast. And it's not to a very good team.
Right.
Up 17 against a struggling team. UNF's got to get off the deck because I think they play tomorrow as well too. They got to get off the deck now. What helps them is that JU comes in Thursday, because when things start going badly, you need something to motivate you. What'll motivate them is the fact that A, they've already beaten JU, and B, the Rumble always gets everybody excited that gym's going to be packed. But that was a tough loss for the Ospreys. That one probably hurt as much as any loss they've had all year.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's get to college baseball. We were at UNF on Friday when they were getting ready to play Notre Dame. That was a lot of fun. But give us some opening weekend thoughts. The Gators look strong. UNF and JU are out there.
Yeah.
The Noles, what stood out to you?
It's hard for JU and UNF against Power 4 teams. JU got swept by Notre Dame. UNF, I say that. I think they lost yesterday.
UNF won 1-2.
UNF won 1-2. They won 8-1 over West Virginia. I didn't see the score from JU's Sunday game if it didn't get rained out, but they lost the first three. It's hard against Power 4 teams. It'll be fun watching those teams. When they get in their conference, I think they both have pretty good teams. We visited with both coaches in the last week. Chris Hays from JU and Joe from UNF within the last week. So I think they'll be okay.
They lost the one. They did play a doubleheader. They lost the last game 2-3.
Okay,
against West Virginia, who's ranked.
West Virginia is very good. So there's no question. Florida's got Brody Donay. He hit 3 home runs in the first week. He had a home run in 3 straight games. Now they're playing Air Force, who isn't a good team, but they got Omaha written all over them. Donay was in the Cape last year when we were up there, and there was a buzz about him and a buzz about Alex Lodis, the former Bartram Trail player now at FSU. Donay they batted him 8th Friday because he won't be batting 8th very long. He hit 3 bombs and a double, I think. He's a 7 out of 10 or something like that. He's a really good player. He's a DH catcher for Florida. Florida's loaded. I mean, this might be. Look, this guy's been to Omaha 10 of his 17 years. Do you realize that?
That's amazing.
10 of his 17 years, and this team's got Omaha written all over him.
Let's get it to the NBA. Slam dunk superstar Mac McClung from the G League dazzled again, winning his 3rd consecutive slam dunk contest. McClung drew a perfect score on all 4 of his dunks. He's played in 1 game for Orlando this season. Miami's Tyler Hero, who I despise, won the 3-point shooting contest.
That made me very happy. It was interesting. After McClung won the dunk contest, I was so excited, so motivated. I tried to jump over my truck. Didn't go well. No, it didn't. So, but it's amazing. This guy's the best dunker in the world.
It's incredible.
But isn't all that good at basketball. But he's not a good enough basketball player to really be on the team. He's got the 2-way contract.
Right.
He's played more time for the Osceola Magic than he has. But it's amazing. This great dunker is really not. He's only 6'2", by the way.
Yeah.
But he's really not all that good a player.
And it's incredible how graceful he is.
Oh my God,
on these
amazing.
dunks.
Yeah,
I mean, all 4. If you haven't watched, it's worth going to look at the highlights. Really is incredible stuff. Steph Curry was the MVP of whatever the All-Star game is now. It featured a new kind of round-robin format, but Curry gets All-Star MVP.
Yeah. For those who watched it, I didn't watch one dribble.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I watched as much of it as I did the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Now they've got like 4 different teams.
It was the Pro Bowl game. What are we doing? You know.
We should all make it into one.
Yeah.
We should actually have the Pro Bowlers play basketball.
Yeah, right.
And vice versa. Then someone would watch.
It's the only thing the Pro Bowlers don't do. They play every other game.
Yeah.
So why not? I will say this. It should make everybody appreciate JJ, our baseball all-star game, which is a legit game.
Absolutely.
We need to go back to a team wearing their own uniforms, by the way.
I think they are.
There's talk about it for sure.
Let's get to the PGA Tour. The Genesis Invitational was this past weekend. Ludwig Åberg wins with a birdie on the final hole, finishing 12 under and winning $4 million. Scotty Scheffler finished tied for 3rd, but keep an eye on Åberg. Lee Smith's been telling us about him for a while. With the players getting close, he's the kind of guy that could make a big statement here in 4 weeks and take home the coveted Players' Championship.
Yeah, Maverick McNeely collapsed a little bit. He had a 2-shot lead late. Oberg, were you watching?
No.
Oberg needed a birdie 18, which is a par 5. He hit it in there. He was probably 40 feet away, and it was a downhill, so it's not an automatic 2-putt. And then his first putt, he still left himself about 6 feet, but it was a cool finish for him. It was number one. They had to play at Torrey Pines because of the fires in Los Angeles. So you hate to see that happen, that they couldn't play at Riviera. But one more Sunday watching Torrey Pines is pretty good. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous golf course.
Without a doubt. Let's get into hockey. The U.S. defeats Canada 3-1 in the Four Nations face-off Saturday night. The game started with 3 brawls.
It's amazing. It's amazing. They dropped the gloves. So, I don't know enough about it. Do they both say, okay, listen, we're going to fight now? Because both guys.
That's a great question.
All 3 times, both guys knew it.
Yeah, I think the announcers basically, I wasn't explained this, but the announcer makes an effort, whatever the word is. But he's like,
he implied.
Hey, Sean McDonough.
Yeah, these guys knew that this was going to happen because they lined up right outside of each other, or right across from each other, even in the second one and the third one. So this was pre-planned, I guess.
And for people that didn't see it, the way it looked was the minute the puck dropped, they dropped their gloves, everybody cleared out and let them fight. And then they brought, you know how hockey fights are. Once you go to the ice, they break it up. And then 2 more guys did it. It was 2 brothers on the American team. And then 2 more guys did it. We're like, this is amazing. How long is this going to go? Odd stuff.
It was incredible. Do we have Baloo in 15 minutes, JJ?
We actually have RJ Saunders.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we can ask him about the All-Star game. Maybe we'll bring up the hockey to Baloo on Tuesday. Let's get it to NASCAR. William Byron wins the Daytona 500 for the
Jeff Gordon won.
Yeah, for his team for the 2nd straight year. Frank Byron did a good job of not getting loose, wouldn't you say?
He didn't get loose. Obviously, nobody would recognize getting loose more than I would. And I said, and my fear, as I was watching the entire race, rooting for Jeff Gordon, was I just hoped he didn't get loose. Once he didn't get loose, I liked his chances of avoiding all those wrecks. They had a lot of wrecks, for the 20. That's the 24 cars. That's the 24 car. And so congratulations to William Byron for back-to-back victories.
You would be a great spotter.
Yeah, there's no question. If you need analysis, I'm the guy.
Absolutely. We will get you out on our musical nugget of the day. We're going to go with a current event. Saturday Night Live celebrated its 50th anniversary with one of the best TV concerts I've ever seen. There were so many great performances. Post Malone, which is what you're hearing now, joined the surviving members of Nirvana for Smells Like Teen Spirit. But you had Eddie Vedder covering The Waiting by Tom Petty. You had David Byrne from the Talking Heads doing a couple of great songs. Cher performed and was incredible. She's 78. It was an amazing 3 hours. Again, it was Saturday night. You can see it on Peacock if you missed it. But again, I thought Post Malone did a great job with Nirvana, and it was cool seeing Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic. Like, you could tell that they were really into it, that they were really enjoying what Post Malone was doing, obviously in place of Kurt Cobain. So really cool stuff if that's your cup of tea.
Did you see when they showed the Nirvana was on the first time, the picture of Grohl?
Oh, yeah.
They're
like babies.
The big cheeks, he looked like he was 17.
Yeah.
And the big old baby face. Grohl did.
And Novoselic looks hilarious now because he looks like, just like an accountant or he doesn't look like a rock star at all. But it was cool. You could see there was a lot of joy. And like, again, Dave Grohl went on to do like Foo Fighters. Pat Smear, has been in Foo Fighters. So they've had a career. But a guy like Novoselic, his career, it was it. That Nirvana was sort of it for him. So cool to see the joy in his face performing.
And a great, we said it at the top of the program and near the top. If you didn't see that, or even on Sunday night, the Saturday Night Live 50, all the sketches and all the celebrities that were there, was one of the most amazing. I did not see Saturday night. I'm going to go back and watch it. I watched it some, but Sunday night was amazing as well. Saturday Night Live, one of the great television institutions of our lifetime. Back to wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The NBA is set to return from its All-Star break, and the Boston Celtics are the betting favorite to repeat as champions. Boston is at plus 220 to win the NBA title. The Oklahoma City Thunder, who have the best record in the Western Conference, are plus 230. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who have the best record in the East, they're plus 750 and are the third best betting favorite. While the New York Knicks are plus 1,300. The Denver Nuggets plus 1,400. The Lakers plus 1,600. The Golden State Warriors, the LA Clippers, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Milwaukee Bucks are all plus 3,300 to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
A customer with an older home and galvanized piping called saying they had poor water pressure. It smelled bad and was discolored. So we at Duck Duck Rooter sent a highly skilled manager to discuss options. How repiping the water lines would solve the issues. The result? Clean flowing water. Call for your free estimate, 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Serving commercial and residential, fully insured and certified plumbing contractor.
Tax season is here, and your refund can go further at Big Chief Tire. Frank Frangie here. Put the extra cash to work by investing in your vehicle, whether it's overdue maintenance, brake repairs, or new tires. Their skilled technicians will help you get the most out of every dollar. With 5 Jacksonville locations, fair prices, and trusted service, Big Chief Tire has everything you need to hit the road with confidence. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Get a healthy start in 2025. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to encourage you to get healthy and stay healthy this year. They have a dedicated team who are committed to providing quality care. The goal is to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Visit duval.floridahealth.gov to learn more about their health programs and services. That's duval.floridahealth.gov.
Attention homeowners, Chelsea here. For a limited time, Renewal by Andersen is making it easy to upgrade your home during our free window month. When you buy 4 windows or patio doors, you'll get 1 free. Our exclusive Fibrex material delivers the perfect combination of energy efficiency, durability, and style. Perfect for your home makeover this season. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window. Restrictions apply. See website for details. License number CGC 1527613.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnick Buick GMC. And as we begin 2025, Nimnick is excited to offer even more choices and better prices for you, ensuring your car buying experience is second to none. If you're wondering where to go for a better buying experience, it's simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Here's to another year of driving forward together. Looking for a better used car shopping experience? Well, you'll find it at Nimnick Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Now with Car Bravo at Nimnick, you'll get transparent pricing, the best value on your trade, and peace of mind. Now is the best time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence. And man, you get all the makes and models: Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. Trading in your old vehicle? Don't forget who gives you top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Pick it here for Bow 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bow 9. Visit Bow 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap, So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a dandy sandwich today.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Calling all poker players. The action is heating up at Best Bet Orange Park, and you don't want to miss the Greater Orange Park Open with a massive $50,000 guarantee. This $200 no-limit hold'em tournament kicks off with 4 starting flights on February 21st and 22nd, leading up to the final day on February 23rd at 12 o'clock. The stakes are high, the excitement is real, and the prize money is waiting for you. Don't miss your shot. For all the details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, where we've been on the program today, we have talked about the Jags GM search. We went through all 5 candidates. And again, you know by now it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then they will presumably pick a GM over the weekend, I would imagine, maybe first part of the week, but we'll certainly see when that happens. We talked all about the GM search and where they are. Trevor Lawrence made some comments on Kay Adams' show. Hays played those for you. We talked about the Gator basketball team and certainly the run they are on over the course of the program today. And we started the program with our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Who wants to design roller coasters.
Isn't that awesome?
So that is fantastic.
That really is. I want to comment about the Jonathan Martin story very quickly. The story, the peg of the story was I was never bullied, and I never said I was bullied. So people that didn't read the story assumed he made it all up and none of that stuff happened. And then Richie Incognito, who was the one who was accused of doing the bullying, came out and said, see there, I was set up. People tried to ruin my career, blah, blah, blah. Well, I read the whole story. It was long now. I mean, it was a long, long, long story. But it totally buried the lead. In there, Martin's father played a voicemail from Incognito that he left Martin. And that should have been the lead to the story. It should have been the first paragraph. And whatever bullying is or isn't, it was vile, nasty, racial, mean-spirited stuff. And so you can take whatever side of it you want. And if that was just one example, then it was really uncomfortable stuff. So to me, it didn't matter what side you take on it, but the story buried the lead. You ought to go read it. You're a good reader. You ought to go read but I'm telling you, if there's 100 paragraphs in the story, it was really long. This was paragraph 70.
Wow.
It should have been the first paragraph. Is if you're wondering what this, if you're going to write about it again 10 years later, and I don't know that I would have written about it 10 years later, but if you're moved to do that, here's the story. That they buried the story. So anyway, so but it was interesting stuff. One other thing I'm going to talk about that nobody cares about but me, I'm going to say it very quickly. Hey, JJ, I want you to pay attention to this. Did you see Shohei's motion? Did you see him throw?
No, I haven't.
Go back and watch his motion.
Does it look different?
Totally different. Now, and I'm going to say this very quickly because we're going to say hello to RJ. Now they teach pitchers to, even when you're either start in the stretch or even when you're not in the stretch, JJ, to kind of start out facing where your feet faces third base,
right?
Not shoulders squared up to the plate. And I'm a big believer that leads to problems. Well, after 2 Tommy Johns, Shohei, who's always started that way, started with he's looking like he's in a stretch, now faces the plate. I'll talk more about this as the week goes on, but it's old school. Now he looks like Tom Seaver and Nolan Ryan started.
Hopefully it's something that like sports scientists and doctors have realized. Maybe this is, will help prevent that.
I really
and we'll see more of it going forward.
Because the Tom Seavers and the Nolan Ryans who threw a trillion miles an hour and threw complete games.
And 1,000 pitches.
And never had pitched like that. Now this new fangled way where you actually look like you're in a stretch even when you're not. So Shohei's gone back to the standard way after 2 Tommy Johns. So it's in the weeds of baseball, and I'll talk more about it as the week goes on, but it's interesting stuff for me. All right, let's say hello to RJ.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
RJ Saunders has the next 2 hours. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you guys?
Did you watch the All-Star Weekend?
Unfortunately, I did.
Yeah. I didn't watch any of it. I did tell Hays I'm going to try and start jumping over cars.
Mac McClung is absolutely probably one of the greatest showmen in dunk contest.
But he's not a very
history.
good basketball player. He can't even make a roster, right?
He's killing it in the G League. I think being 6'2" is probably the thing that's holding him back, that height. But
well, Steph Curry's 6'2". You can play that height. But I mean,
you can. Yeah. You can, but Mac McClung's not shooting like Steph Curry.
No. So, but interesting. So, quickly before we talk about the show tonight, other than baseball, we complain about all the All-Star games. What should the NBA do? You know more about the NBA than anybody I know. What should they do?
I don't know. I feel like they're honestly grasping at straws. I think the final thing is probably go USA versus the international team, but I don't think they want to go that route yet. If players and respective teams aren't going to really take it seriously, and the international guys end up beating the USA, I think you have to kind of admit that the international guys are better now, and this is their league, and I don't think the NBA wants to do that yet.
Here's what I don't understand. I understand why the NFL had to get rid of it. Because there were too many injuries. It's a violent game, and you can't have a violent exhibition game. But basketball, why not just play the East versus the West, or like they used to do? Why did they stop? I mean, why? I know they stopped playing defense, but why not go back to playing defense and really try?
I feel like there was a myriad of reasons. I think when you had a lot of teams shifting the balance of power, and you had the majority of your stars out west or out east, it was it's too unbalanced. So we don't have the talent level that the East has or the West has, vice versa. So they went to another model where it was, hey, let's just do the playground style. We pick 2 captains. They choose the players of the respective all-stars. Let's go that route. And guys started not being competitive in that. So this seemed to be the last bastion.
Yeah, I get it.
But you do have NBA players now saying, we want to go back to the 2-way model. I don't know if that means they're going to play better defense, but it seems like not too many were a fan of this, 4-team model.
What's coming up tonight?
Well, we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about the NBA All-Star Game, how much of a dud that it was. We'll also talk Mac McClung. We're going to talk a little bit of Lakers talk. Frank Frangie with John Ireland with the play-by-play voice of the Los Angeles Lakers. And then we'll get into a deep dive of, in the NBA, what means more, NBA championships or regular season MVP awards. That was a big discussion a couple weeks ago. So just kind of want to get the fans to chew on that and give me their responses.
All right. I'll be listening. RJ Saunders Talking Hoops. That comes up right now. That'll do it for our program. Tomorrow we're live from JU. Florida and JU baseball. Florida's got a really good team. JU's got a good team, too. You want to watch some good baseball? Coming out to Session Stadium tomorrow and join us. We're out here. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.